Welcome to Smash Writing. We are back with another review, another Twilight review, the final Twilight review. I'm so excited. So we are reviewing Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, which directly picks up the events after Part 1. Make it quick. Read the plot.
Make it quick. Good Lord. I have a problem in the first 5 minutes.
I know. Like, this is horrible because, like, I don't want to give everything away of how much I hate this film, but I hate this film.
Bella's alive, and she's adjusting to being a vampire. She's stronger than Edward, which doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Did I, like... keep going.
Well, it's a new vampire, so they're stronger. No, it's a new vampire, so they're not in control. That doesn't make them stronger.
Makes no sense, especially when you build his brother as, like, he's the muscles and he just...
The deadly thirst thing doesn't seem to really be as deadly as advertised. Because she's more focused on the colors and lights than blood.
You know,
she does real briefly lose control for a half a second. She doesn't attack him or the climber. She manages to rally herself and take down a cougar.
Yeah!
Which, she doesn't even mess up her dress.
Because, why would she?
Run so fast she breaks her heels or anything, because, the shoes she's wearing can handle the speed.
They're expensive heels.
Yeah, that is expensive.
Very expensive. They're, like, indestructible. God, I hate this movie. You're giving me day nightmares already just by talking about the plot.
They return home, and Jacob is already there to meet them. Tests out her non-existent bloodthirst on him. But she really wants to go see the baby. The monster baby. There's a robotic doll that's even scarier. I think they call it like Chuck May or something like that.
My God.
She gets to hold the baby, and the baby passes along a vision, her first memory. That's her power. She can put memories in your head. That make you forget it's not a monstrosity.
Yeah. Her name, what was her name?
Renesmee. But Jacob, he starts getting jealous. He wants his baby back. That's when it dawns on her that he imprinted on the baby, and she starts wailing on him, but gives up way too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now Jacob tries to explain the situation here, that he was never attracted to Bella. He was always attracted to Renesmee, the egg inside of her, which wasn't fertilized, and this goes back to years. And would he be attracted to Edward too in that case, since he had the other half?
I mean, logically speaking.
Logically speaking, he should have been attracted to Edward. Maybe that's why he never liked him. Is it like repressed homophobia going on here? Is it repressed homophobia?
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
But this is also when he learns that they're leaving town because Bella has to die and she can't be seen, so they're leaving. But this pisses off Jacob. You can't take his baby girl from him.
Hell no, we're soulmates.
So he goes to Charlie, strips to his underwear, and turns into a werewolf.
Okay, even about that scene was creepy on 10 levels. When did they ever take off their clothes?
Well, they always took their shirts off. That's why none of them ever wear shirts.
I get that, but even
unless you're a girl, they don't strip the women down like the women wolves don't.
But they've always just their shirts.
Yes.
So why did he get?
Did he strip his pants off too?
Yeah, he went down to he went down into his underwear.
But see, the point that stuck out with me is where is Charlie going? I know he's going to see Bella. But it looked like he was just going to wander off into the woods.
Yeah.
So, You know, I don't care if you take your car or anything, but don't you want to go use like the sidewalk? Because there's no trail where you're walking.
Oh my God. Oh, go on, because we're not even
Yeah.
like 10 minutes into this movie. And
Jacob then races ahead of Charlie to warn them that, oh yeah,
I snitched.
I exposed myself to Charlie because I am your friend.
Which is damn near he exposed himself.
So they have to make Bella look presentable real quick. And basically, in a nutshell, they say, you'll know what you need to know. Go fuck yourself, okay? And I added in the okay, because everything else is pretty much how it happened.
I mean, pretty spot on.
They introduced the kid as his niece, and they adopted her, and now she's their daughter. That Charlie's just whatever. He's given up. No investigation from him. No investigative skills from this police officer.
No.
Meanwhile, the kid is growing exponentially. She's going to be an adult in 4 years, which I'm sure Jacob is delighted to hear. I know people are like, hey, he could be a protector or a brother. He's not going to be.
No,
We've
because
already
we've seen the vision.
We saw the visions. That's not. This is a grooming situation.
What is wrong with this movie? Like,
And like, look, you wrote it this way, Steph. You wrote it this way.
oh my God. All right, go on with this grooming movie.
But anyway, the kid is growing exponentially, and she's like floating through the sky, catching snowflakes. How and when can they fly? It's not her power, but she's spotted. And the one vampire runs off to go tell the Volturi, that's right, Chuckles is back in the game. Because there's it triggers a vision in Alice, because the Volturi is under the belief that she's an immortal child. Which means that they turn the child into a vampire. And because the bullshit... No, I'm not going into this. It's a stupid fucking reason. Anyway, the vampire children can't keep secrets. And they tend to blow it and
they're
destroy everything.
Like, is that what was the thing? They were just uncontrollable.
Because they mentally freeze at the age that they're turned. Which doesn't work like that at all.
They broke the whole vampire codes.
Like mentally freeze you at that age would be to put you in a coma or lock you in a room. Anyway, so the last time this happened, like you see visions and like they chuck the baby into a fire, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree that should happen more.
Like, didn't it kill like the mom and they chucked it in the face? We'll spare the child, cut you off, and then like, psych, whoom, go back.
But now they got a problem. So they're going to collect witnesses and introduce Renesmee around so they can have people on their side to say that Renesmee is not an immortal child. Meanwhile, though, Alice and the Confederate prick, they bail town. And they're going to try to find evidence, but no one believes that. They just think that those two bailed. I can see the Confederate prick bailing because he's a Confederate prick. But, Alice isn't going to just bail. But anyway, they're I don't know why they bring Jacob around either. Like, they know that the other vampires aren't going to like meeting a werewolf. So why not just leave him? Oh, that's why he won't leave his baby girl.
His victim, you mean?
Yeah, his victim. This is where we start getting stuff like the League of Superpowers, the League of Nations, if you will, of vampires with strange-ass fucking powers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But we also find out that all this time, Bella did have a superpower of her own. She is a shield. That's why no one can read her mind and why no powers work on her. Except their powers do work on her. Because Alice can see her future.
Oh my God.
And Jasper's mood swings affected her. So basically her shield is a pretty bad one.
Basically, this fucking series.
Jacob gives the monster baby a bracelet.
Aww.
And then Alice, and finally we come to the big meeting. The groups meet. The witnesses and the Collins and the Volturi.
Was this like trial by war possibility or some shit? Because, like, they're calling them witnesses. I get that they don't want to fight, but
Most of them are ready for a fight, though. They really don't like the Volturi. And, so they're all meeting up and all squaring off. Everything is going okay, but they do have a backup plan if things go awry. Jacob will take the baby. Or I keep calling her the baby. At this point, she's a child.
yeah, not even a toddler. She's a child.
They're going to run off. And everyone else will hold the line while they bail. Everything is going good, and even Chuckles has to admit that, this is an immoral child like they assumed. It's a half-breed.
Where's Blade at when you need the
Yeah,
motherfucker?
it's the Winchesters, please. Anyway, Alice and the Confederate prick make his return. And Alice shows them a future because she actually found another baby, or another person who's a half-breed. Because, of course, there will be more than one.
As it naturally would. Like, there should be a fucking werewolf and half vampire out there, too.
Probably. Well, no, I don't think a vampire can have a child. I think it has to be with a human.
Yeah.
Unless, a werewolf and a human have a baby and it's a half-breed. And then a vampire bites it.
Oh, that would be epic.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty damn epic.
But this is also whenever Alice reads Chuckles' mind and realizes that inevitably there will be a fight. So a fight there is had. Carlisle, I believe his name is?
Yeah.
He dies first. And then Seth dies. The Confederate prick eats it. This is where stuff could have fixed everything, right? The Confederate prick eats it. Edward could have died. Jacob could have been shot down. And then, Alice and Bella run off together. And, let's face it, Alice is the right choice here. No, that's what happens. The end of the fight is Bella and Edward killing Chuckles. And he snaps out of it. It was all a dream. Alice showed him a vision of what will happen if a fight occurs. So they call off the fight. And the Volturis wander off into nothing. They just leave. And all the witnesses leave, and then they end up back in the field where Bella drops her shield. So Edward can finally see that she really does love him. Which is probably the biggest bullshit these movies pull. That's not the point of love. The point of love is to trust each other, that, you're not lying. Mm-hmm. So by her having to drop her shield to show him is just the biggest bullshit. Because he should have just said, no, that's okay. I don't need to know. I know myself. And the movie ends there. And that's...
And well, with the grooming scene, too.
Oh, yeah. we get a good look into that future. Thanks for that.
Like, it's clear as day. Like, yep, Jacob's plowing.
I can't remember. Was it in the movie or was it in the book? Where Edward actually calls Jacob his son.
Oh. Well, I didn't catch the dialogue, but Jacob
does make a joke of calling him dad, and you said, no, not now.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is gross. You know exactly. Like, come on. What are we doing here?
What?
So this is all bad, right?
So, let me say, like, this much at this point. So, we know, like, there was definitely a phase of films that came out to where it's like, there was always one half and then a second half.
Like your Harry Potter.
Like Harry Potter. But what a lot of these films did was they're like, well, there's a whole lot of shit that takes place in the second film that kind of like, okay, I see why they did two films. There was nothing. 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 This was 2 hours of nothing. It was them talking and getting witnesses for a fight that didn't happen.
I think by then not having the fight is the biggest disservice they could do. Because it just truly sealed the deal on Bella being a Mary Sue. She never paid for anything. Nothing ever came at a cost for Bella. At least with the final fight, it would have cost something. They would have had to suffer loss and pick
Big
up
time.
from there. But you didn't even pull the trigger on that. So she became a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
She had a baby she didn't want, but learned to love because that's the message of this fucking franchise. And no bloodthirst, no war with the Volturi. It was okay that the human being learned about them, so basically they didn't go tell Charlie now because who gives a fuck? He never does anything in these movies.
It's like
Anything.
He was like the most
Like,
worthless
can you
dad
show
ever.
a little bit of backbone here, Charlie? Please investigate any of your suspicions.
If he would have put like 2% effort into this film, he would have been the smartest man.
Yeah, just- The Cullen family are the biggest fucking group of idiots. All of this years of vampire experience, they have no idea what to do when she's pregnant. They have no idea what her power is until some random dude is like, "Oh, she's a shield." And everyone's like, "Oh, I never met anyone that acted like her, but it makes all kinds of sense now."
But then yet she's like the most strongest one of the fucking family.
Yeah.
Where does that make sense at?
If she's a vampire, that would actually put it back down to who's physically stronger. Like, on a physical standpoint. And
Yeah.
it should be big guy over there.
Yeah. Now, like, the crazy thing, like, I texted this, like, right before we left, because I was like, the fuck am I watching? I'm finishing it up now. The fight scene, like, and I get it, this is the vision, but if this is the vision that was supposed to happen, why is Bella's strength coming and going? She gets her ass whooped by, like, just soldiers, and then, like, she then tries to overcome some of them, and then she came and snapped Chuckles' head off. Like, even her, and then if everybody's supposed to have one super power added onto their, they're already fucking vampires, she doesn't. She has more than one. She has, like, ultra strength and this shield bullshit. But then her strength comes and goes.
Now, I often hear that at least these are bad movies that you can laugh at. It's like, you want some bad movies to laugh at, I'll give them to you. Black Sheep is right there. That is Were Sheep. And it's fantastic. There's Ghost Shark. The spirit of a shark returns for revenge. He comes out of a hose and eats someone on a slip and slide. That's amazing. Fuck, Sharktopus. That was great. There's a whole lot of bad movies out there you could watch and have a great time with. That's not Twilight.
No, there's always tons of movies that you can watch over and over again that are just so bad. They're so bad that you love them because they're bad. They aim to be bad. This movie really thought it was good. Like, I'm pretty sure you will sit there and find somebody that loves this movie who's like, oh no, that's a really great film. No, it's not. No, it's not. It wasted my time. I could have done, like, anything else this morning but watch this damn movie. In fact, I should have just gave it a bad review without watching it because it sucks so bad. Now, I will give it at least some credit. If that the fight scene was at least half decent.
Yeah, it was a really good fight scene, but it meant nothing.
It meant nothing.
Because it was not real.
That was like, that's the what if.
And the thing about Twilight is there's a good story here. And it would be really easy to flip it into a good story. I'm not doing it now. I'm going to look at the battery life on the camera. Here's what you do. Make Bella 18, 19. She's in a gap year. Have her become a vampire in the first movie. When the guy bit her, keep her a vampire. So she has to suffer that second movie. She has to become a vampire and not kill Charlie and learn her way through it. Make Jacob a friend.
An
He's
actual
just
friend.
her friend. Nick the baby. No baby. That's a dumb idea. Have the Volturi show up during Breaking Dawn Part 1 and become a menace leading to a bigger fight. I would kill either Carlisle dies in the end. Jacob or Edward dies in book 3. Probably Jacob, since your end game is Edward. My end game is Alice, so I'd kill Edward. Yeah, but she has to pay shit. There has to be consequences to her actions. She never pays consequences in any of these movies, making her a Mary Sue.
Yeah. And, like, even, like...
She needs to find her own confidence in her own love in herself before she finds love in the Cullens.
And so much contradiction, too. Like, if you go back to the Jacob character, if you go back to Breaking Dawn Part 1, he imprinted what she contradicted again of, like, you pointed out in the previous videos, like, these imprints mean that these are, like, lovers. And then he flips and goes, no, I did it to protect her.
But they say that it could be anything. It is whatever the imprintee needs. But we see visions, and there are no other examples to show it's anything other than a love interest.
And even though when Jacob does make it clear, like, hey, I'm protecting her because the other werewolves were like that, this film contradicts, like, oh, no, you're going to be, like, even though, like, she's aging fast, she's mentally, not, like, I mean, she's learning, but, like, dude, she's still going to be, like, 7, just looks 21.
Well, I think they're going to argue the fact that, well, mentally she's not frozen since she's a halfling. Because mental age works like that.
I hate this film.
Yeah, it's not good. I would also change a lot of what Edward is. Edward cannot be mentally 17.
There is nothing good.
There's that. There's the whole, your only purpose is to spawn a baby, because that's when she truly found happiness, was having a baby. And being married.
Mm-hmm.
Married before the baby. Remember that. That's the important thing. Because even Edward was a 109-year-old virgin.
Which probably realistically wouldn't be true, because, like, there's no way he was like, oh, I'm going to wait for somebody 110 years from now. Ugh! I hated these films without ever watching them, and I hate them even more. So...
Final grade.
F.
F.
F. I mean, like... I was going to honestly even give it a D because of the fight scene. Had that fight scene, like you said, meant something.
Yeah.
This was a dud of, 2 hours and 20 minutes? Like, this was a dud.
It was actually 2 hours.
My God, it felt longer than that.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Oh, my Jesus.
And you know what? While we're at it, fuck you, Netflix. You geo-locked this piece of shit movie in Canada. So I click on my VPN to watch it in Canada. And they kicked me out because it was blocking the ads.
The ads would have been more exciting than this
Netflix,
film.
you expensive ass bullshit streaming service that has almost nothing on there.
Well, do you want to quickly rank these films?
Fuck, just four-way tie. There's 4 movies. Four-way tie for The Basement, and number one is the best. There's 5 of them.
5. New Moon, Eclipse.
New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn movies. That's tied for The Basement. Number 1 is the best because at least
the first one was the number 1. Yeah, and then the
it's all been downhill.
2 through 5 is a tie. However you want to put them, they're a tie.
However, they're all bad. There's at least the first one is a teen romance movie. I guess you want to call it that. You can get away with it.
Yeah. Please, if you want us to...
there's the one pro from all of this.
There's one pro?
It kickstarted the careers of a shit ton of good actors.
That is true. There was actually a lot... Like, I would just say, like, the ending of Breaking Dawn 2 when they were going through everybody's name, it really blew my mind how many was actually in that film, like, in the series altogether.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least that's the highlight, but...
It kickstarted the careers of a whole bunch of people, and it's great for them. They made a huge payday.
And then they moved on their lives, and some things still haunt them. But, hey, it's okay. If you have another request...
And I hope you enjoy this, because eventually we're going to have to talk about the remake.
What?
Yeah, they're bringing this shit back.
F for that, too. Fuck that. I'm just giving it an F now. But if you guys out there have a request...
Comment below.
There you go. Until next time.
Bye-bye.